American Broadcast Network, now in its 8th year of talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, this is Alex and this is the Ramble, and we'll be here until midnight tonight. Yes, here we are. Let me turn on the lights here. There we go. I know, not a good night for me. Oh well. Anyway, let's go over and see who we have here. Waiting for us. Let me see. I've got to figure out what to do here. I can't remember what to do because my mind is thinking about other things. Okay, alrighty. I think we're ready to go. Let's just, what I'm trying to do is to figure out, wow, I lost that. There we go. We got that. All right, I didn't do that. And now we're going to admit Phil Meyer. Here we go. Phil, there you are. Are you there, Phil? There you go. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just do this here for a second. There we go. That's better.
Is it that time already?
Yeah, it's that time already. I don't know how much, if I'm going to be able to do a whole show tonight.
What's going on?
I'm just worried about my health.
Huh? What happened?
Well, no, I get this thing from my doctor today. Okay, yeah. A little letter, and I can even show you. See, it's just really.
Did it have to do with the lungs?
No.
Looks like a bill.
Huh? No,
like a bill.
He says. Now I saw him a couple of weeks ago, right? And I told him about the lymph nodes and so on that they thought were enlarged, and then he felt my neck and he said, no, there's nothing enlarged there. They feel fine. Well, then he writes me today. He says, it is our policy to follow up with our patients. How are you doing?
Well, maybe it wasn't the lymph nodes that were enlarged. It was your ego.
Hold on a second. Then he says, please do a sonogram of the lymph nodes. If you have any problems, do not hesitate to call me. And then he has this prescription for me to take, and I don't even know where to go to do it.
Well, I would call him and ask him.
I'm going to call him. But then I started looking up my stuff. It said I had they found rounded lymph nodes. And rounded lymph nodes, about 50% of the time, are malignant.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if for my prostate thing, I got cancer in the lymph nodes.
Well, they can remove lymph nodes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it hasn't metastasized, they remove them.
They say 49% of the time they're metastasized, the rounded ones.
That means that it's on your side for 51%. You know, I wasn't going to bring this up as the first topic. It was actually going to be one of the last, but I had a terrible dream last night, and I think it was because I was listening to a YouTube thing about your will and making it easier on people after you pass, and what to do about all of your passwords and things like that, so things aren't difficult for the people that survive you, and you know who's going to get what. And so it must have been playing in the background, and then I was like paralyzed, and I just kept saying in the dream, I'm not a donor, and that I woke up. But you know, that was a terrible dream. But let
me ask you: didn't they tell you about the PSA test, that the reason if you have a low PSA, then that doesn't mean it's spread anywhere else?
No, not necessarily. They can only tell that with I think a CT scan with a dye. You know, so they so they stick you in the machine. They push some stuff into your wrist, and they're able to see.
No, but weren't they worried that when your PSA went up, not that you had cancer, but that it may have spread?
No, they didn't. They weren't alarmed like that. It was when my PSA went up. They knew I had cancer, because I got the biopsy, and I also had a couple of other things. So the cancer was confirmed.
Right.
The PSA going up.
No, but then afterwards, you got a PSA test and it went up.
Yes.
And what were they worried about there?
They were worried that the cancer might be becoming more aggressive. You know, but it went up to a very high level. I think it was 17, but it went down after a month of Cipro because it was prostatitis.
Yeah, well, anyway, I think I probably have cancer.
Oh God. Well, I wouldn't start worrying until you get some tests done. You know, there's no benefit in worrying. There's no upside to be upset about it. No wonder you weren't really happy that you had a GabNet exclusive.
Well, how did I have a GabNet exclusive?
Well, you interviewed your friend David Patterson, and a couple of days later, he appeared on Fox News, and he was being interviewed there. You know, about the goings on in New York and the crime and things like that, and whether or not he supported Hochul, and so and it was timely that you had scooped Fox News.
I don't know that I scooped them.
Well, you had him on first. You know, if it was.
Well, I mean, but he's
Carson.
I'm sure he does.
Johnny Carson, he'd have to get him first. KGO, they'd have to get him first. You scooped.
It could be. Could
Yeah.
be.
So, you know, you should be proud. That was a GabNet exclusive.
Yeah.
Just to move on after the accolades, and I'm sorry that you're upset that you have rounded lymph nodes. I gotta believe that to worry about this kind of stuff before you have any definitive proof is counterproductive. And it's just, you got to have a positive attitude. And just like with the prostate cancer, you dealt with it. You may not have shown it that it got you down, but to the face that you put forward, you said, this is what I got, I will deal with it. Boom, boom, boom. You researched it and you took care of it. And I'm sure this is going to be the same thing. And it doesn't, even if it's malignant, it doesn't matter. They can remove them. And what's the prognosis for survival after removal?
I have no idea here. It doesn't say.
Well, that's something that you might want to ask about. You know, because if it's contained to the lymph nodes, you can deal with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's another inconvenience in life.
Yeah. Well, it's I'm just bothered by it. You know.
I don't blame you. Nobody likes bad news or even the potential for bad news, especially Liz Cheney. But I wanted to mention something. I had listened to your Nice show, and you guys were talking about Anne Heche. Heche. And I don't know. They were kind of critical over the driving, some of the antics and the drinking and so forth. And I wanted to point out that she had mental illness problems. Her whole family had mental illness problems. Her brother killed himself in a very similar fashion in a car. And I'm thinking that we ought to be looking at mental illness and feeling for somebody that was suffering, even though the end result could have been disastrous for the lady in the house. And but the thing is, some people just are suffering, and I just thought that was the one topic that didn't get covered on your Nice show was the fact that she had mental illness, and there was another perspective
Yeah.
for what happened to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, let's see. Um, so, tell me more about. Didn't the doctor talk to you at all, or they
No, they
just
just sent
a
me this
letter?
note. I mean, when I saw him, he said, "Well, he felt my lymph nodes." He said they feel fine. You know,
Yeah.
and that was it. But then I looked at the thing they did on me, and it says I had rounded lymph nodes. So maybe he saw that, and that's why he wants this test done now. Maybe
Yeah.
he just looked at that report more closely. Um, but I don't know, but it's got me all worried, and it's hard for me to do a show tonight without constantly looking at stuff on the internet here.
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
the lymph nodes, maybe he was feeling for it being swollen. And I don't know if what the prognosis is for rounded lymph nodes. And how could they tell that? What test did they do on you
They did
that,
it. They did a CT scan.
oh, and in the CT scan, did they see anything?
All they saw was that they were rounded, enlarged lymph nodes.
Hmm. Well, I think you might have to ask Alan.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
you know, um, this is above my pay grade. I just don't know, what the consequences of those things are. But I can't imagine. I know my ex-wife had breast cancer,
Hmm.
and they also removed lymph nodes just in case there was a
Yeah.
possibility of spread, along with a double mastectomy, and the she's been cancer free since that was done, at least 7 years now.
Hmm.
So I don't think it's a death sentence. I just think it's going to be another inconvenience, or at least that's what I hope the maximum it would be.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but anyway, so I mean, I just, um, I don't know. I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but I don't know if
No.
I don't know if I can continue doing a show tonight.
Yeah.
I'm so bothered by this.
Well, maybe we should just do some research now and uh, have others join in so you can at least express yourself.
Well, I put in enlarged lymph nodes, and it keeps coming up swollen lymph nodes.
Right. And the doctor said he didn't feel that it's swollen. He says, right?
Right,
That
right. No,
okay. Put
these
in
are
rounded lymph nodes.
rounded lymph nodes. They're oval and they're rounded, and they say the rounded ones have a 50% chance, approximately, of being malignant.
Okay. And what is the treatment?
I have no idea.
That's the next question.
Well, um, that's interesting. But I don't know. Do you think that the prostate cancer caused the lymph nodes?
No, nowhere near one another. If the lymph nodes in your neck, or where are they located? Because you have lymph nodes in a lot of places. They look like grapes, right?
Right. I guess. I don't know. I don't.
But
Yeah.
lymph nodes are rounded. I thought they looked like grapes.
Hmm.
I thought they looked like grapes.
I guess so. I don't know. I know so little about them. You know.
Yeah. Well, you can't fear what you don't know. Well, you can. That's why people have fear, because they don't know. So the way to overcome fear is to find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Maybe somebody who's a doctor can call the show.
Yeah. Well,
Or who might know about this kind of stuff is Jeff.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
you see, the lymph nodes around my prostate are
Yeah.
don't have it. So
Right.
I have no idea what the story is.
Yeah. I don't know if the treatment that you received could have an effect on lymph nodes in other areas of the body. You got your treatment early. It didn't seem to metastasize. Are you getting low to no PSA?
Low to no PSA. I have no PSA.
Right. Neither do I,
Yeah.
or I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
So, have you had a PSA test done recently?
Yeah, about 3 months ago, 2 months ago. Yeah.
And it was no detectable cancer?
Right. No detectable PSA.
Yeah, no detectable PSA,
Yeah.
which is sometimes, because I had a little detectable PSA a year and a half after they removed my prostate,
Yeah.
and that I went for 7 weeks of radiation, and that might be if you do have something going on in the lymph nodes, that may be how they treat it.
Well, was the radiation on your prostate?
It was
No.
on my prostate area. They
see.
couldn't focus on the prostate because I didn't have one at that point. So what they did was they had some sort of beamed machine that you lay on a table, and it moves around, and it moves you around, and they radiated the area where the prostate was, and that's how they took care of the second course. But I would imagine with these very directed machines, they can focus on the cancer cells, and it doesn't go beyond the cancer cells, so it doesn't do the damage that years ago radiation would do.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I mean, no, that's not what I asked.
Yeah, every time I ask Google or something about prostate cancer or diabetes, I immediately get an ad to buy something.
Yeah.
You press on something, oh, the 7 signs of the such and such, and then boom, it takes you right to a thing that wants to sell you something.
Says here, can a normal lymph node be round? And then it says, although the round shape helps to identify a metastatic lymph node, it should not be used as the sole criterion.
Yeah.
Okay. Are cancerous lymph nodes round? They tend to be round, but whereas reactive nodes are usually elliptical in shape.
Yeah.
Okay. Cancerous lymph nodes often are round or oval. Malignant lymph nodes are commonly round, while benign nodes have an elliptical shape. So I might have cancer.
Yeah. What is what do they say the prognosis for cancer in the lymph node is?
It doesn't say.
Hmm.
What size lymph node is concerning? Can lymph nodes be oval? What does an abnormal lymph node look like on ultrasound? Include shape, round. See, round is not good.
Yeah. Can you ask, how is cancer of the lymph node treated?
Let's see. Cancer of lymph node.
Yeah, I only have one computer here, so I can't necessarily successfully search.
pH nodes, lymph nodes. Treated.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Cancer of lymph nodes treatment. It's probably it'll be like, is cancer of the lymph nodes curable? There are various treatments a person can have to treat cancer that is spread to the lymph nodes. One option is surgery to remove the person's primary cancer and affected lymph nodes. However, lymph node involvement can mean a person's cancer is more likely to return after surgery.
So surgery might not be the best.
How long can you live when cancer spreads to the lymph nodes? A patient with widespread metastasis in life expectancy of less than 6 weeks.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
A patient with metastases to the brain has a more variable life expectancy, 1 to 16 months. Wow. Wow. Widespread metastases.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Well, you may have found this early, and possibly the food poisoning could have saved your life.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Who knows? It's usually bad sign that the cancer has or seems. Forget it. I read this, it's going to drive me crazy.
Yeah.
You know.
When did you get this letter? This afternoon?
Today. You know, why didn't he tell me at the time? You know that
he didn't know. Didn't they have to send off something or?
No. He didn't have to send anything off. I went, had a discussion with him. I showed him my my thing. And he looked at it and he felt my under here and he said, I don't feel any enlarged lymph glands there. So, and then I get this like 3-4 weeks later. Why?
And
did he suddenly see I had rounded and he said I better go have him have a sonogram?
Well, it's not a bad idea. So did they just prescribe the sonogram, or did they prescribe actual meds?
No, sonogram.
Okay, and so you just don't know where to go to get it.
I don't know where to get it, and I don't know why he wants to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm reading here all these various things, So I don't know.
Well, if you want my 2 cents, which you usually don't, but I wouldn't get upset and allow it to take over my attitude until I know one way or another. I'm not saying to put your head in a hole like an ostrich, but you really can't. You really can't make yourself crazy until you know one way or another what's going on. It's just a good thing that he made you aware of this now, and you can do some more investigation.
Well, let's bring in 2 people here who might be able to help the discussion.
All right.
We got
what do you got, Dr. Allen?
Allen and
Dr. Wallace?
And Dr. Wallace, yeah.
Well, you just got over COVID, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Alex?
Yeah.
Okay, so most people with COVID or any type of viral infection, their lymph nodes swell. And a lot of times it takes months for the swelling to go down.
Well, no. To begin with, we're talking about enlarged. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. Swollen, enlarged, call it what you want.
Is swollen and enlarged the same thing?
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, well.
Do you have any other symptoms right now?
This test that I took before I had COVID.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Sick.
You got COVID at the hospital. Right after
Marjorie got it. About a week afterwards, yeah.
Oh, and
and you went in. Whatever you were sick from took you to the hospital. It's not uncommon to have swollen lymph nodes.
Yes, but they were rounded lymph nodes.
You have a fever.
They were rounded lymph nodes as opposed to cervical lymph nodes.
I understand that. Do you have a fever? Do you feel ill right now?
No.
Chances are you don't have cancer of the lymph nodes.
Well, I am lightheaded all the time, but that could be my.
Well, I am too, and I'm 20 years younger than you. So what?
Yeah, you said that might have been due to the vertigo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dr. Stein is joining us.
Yeah, but he's not there. He's just.
He's a reference library.
I find it strange that your doctor said there wasn't a problem, and then 4 weeks later sends you this letter. Maybe your doctor's confusing patients.
Alan, he said he didn't feel a problem.
But that's like saying, okay, I don't feel a swollen prostate. Let's go ahead and do an exam. But that's right at the same time, or very close. It's not 4 weeks later.
Yeah.
Is my thought. I have a feeling that he's rather made a mistake, or he likes scaring you.
But also I looked on there and it said they found rounded lymph nodes.
So,
which 50% of the time are malignant.
My mother had rounded lymph nodes. 80% rounded in her body. They did a scan.
Are
and
you sure
everything
they
was-
were called rounded lymph nodes?
Absolutely. It's the only time I've ever heard of them.
Really?
No.
And over 80% of her body?
80% of her body. Yeah, and they said she had some kind of viral infection. There was no cancer. They did a PET scan and everything, and nothing. So
Yeah, but they were worried because they were rounded that they might be cancerous.
Get the
Yeah, but-
sonogram. That'll answer the question.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just worried about it.
you're gonna.
Okay.
What they'll do is they'll probably do the scan, and if they look abnormal, then they'll want to do a biopsy. And if
But-
there's a few
but-
cancer cells in there, they'll treat them. Right?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think you have anything to worry about because I think he would have did it right away, Alex. Why wait 3 weeks?
I agree with Tony.
I'm being honest, and
Well,
you did have
maybe
COVID.
because he never sat there and read the complete report.
Yeah.
I think he's just covering his ass. You're right. He saw something later and then said, "Oh, I better be careful about this." And
Yeah.
Could be. Could be.
Precautionary.
I mean, you know what I would do, Alex? Can you call his office tomorrow and go over with him and say, "Hey, listen"? any
Yeah, I'm
reason
going
why-
to call him and say I have to talk to him. Yeah.
I noticed with doctors, like with my urologist, he was all panicky at first. Then after my biopsy came and he was satisfied, even though I have low grade. He's like, "Oh, I'm waiting to do the other blood work coming in. Don't worry, you're not gonna." It's like they panic. It's like they're always covering themselves, like all the time. So, like with you, and also you also went after your cancer. Didn't they do a whole body scan like my mom had done in Sloan? Like, didn't they scan you after you were done?
Yeah.
Like a 3-month checkup, like my brother does that.
Yeah. Could be.
Well,
Yeah,
Could
to
they-
see if the cancer's met. What was that? 5 years ago? 10 years ago? You had the prostate cancer?
No,
No,
No.
it was
that was like a year ago.
recently
No.
after me.
Yeah. You went for the check. No, after you're done, don't you go like every 3 months for like they had to scan you to see like if there's
No,
any.
they do a PSA.
Oh, that's all they do for that then for us?
Yeah.
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 Uh-huh.
Yeah.
'Cause usually that's isolated just to that region.
Brian.
With you, Tony, probably every 12 to 18 months, they'll do a PSA and they'll do a biopsy to see if the cancer.
Alex was trying to say something.
Oh,
Alex.
sorry.
Well, I was going to say Brian's got his hand up.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Wouldn't the doctor call you if there's something serious?
Well, no. Apparently, he wrote me.
Yeah, but
You know,
Was this email or was this what?
letter.
well, we,
Yeah, a letter. That's the slowest way of form of communication.
not even an email.
I got my tooth. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, we just saw Brian without his tooth.
I know.
Uh-oh.
you look like my Uncle Charlie.
Charlie's. We see him without his toes. Brian without his tooth.
I think my cat took it.
I'm waiting for my blood work.
Cat was playing with it last time.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God.
The cat was playing with it.
So the cat's got a human toe in its mouth?
Tooth.
Tooth. His tooth.
Tooth, right. I get it.
I don't care.
Oh,
He's arguing with the cat.
someone's getting its walking papers.
Beat up the cat.
There's gonna be a rain in the yard tonight. The neighbors are
Just by
gonna.
any chance,
Alex, I would
Or-
get clarification with your doctor verbally. Talk to him.
Yeah, I think you're fine.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You know, I mean, when I just read in my report that was from the hospital that they found rounded.
Don't send it off.
It's,
isn't
someone
married
got
life
you.
fun?
Uh-oh, there might be a divorce by the end of the night, Phil. Send them a lawyer.
Oh,
Don't you love married life?
Brings back memories.
I'm watching the Yankee game.
The advantages of the internet.
Yeah.
Love it, boy.
Well, to change the subject a little bit, Phil was right. I was reading on Google that Anne Heche did suffer from mental health problems practically her whole life. She was sexually abused as a child by her father.
and she wasn't even Jewish. Mental health problems. Sorry.
Hey, as caring as that statement was, Alan, you ought to go on the Nice Show.
Yeah.
Did Phil say something?
Yeah, he tried to say something. Yeah.
Well, the one thing I could tell you is I've noticed that lately these large universities, doctors, hospital combination are getting more difficult to get them to talk to you and to make an easy appointment to come in and see them.
Jeff, could that be due to the fact that that people are aging and we've got so many more people on Medicare that it's spreading the resources thin? And that's
it's the fact that we keep surviving.
Yeah.
Okay, and we need lots of work.
Yeah.
Well,
but you think about it, that the baby boomers are reaching Medicare age and have reached, and so therefore there's more of them in the system. They're having they're going for work more often than they would have if prior to having the Medicare, and maybe that's causing resources in the hospitals and the teaching hospitals to be thinner than they would have been years ago.
Yes, yes.
I think doctors are getting burnt out.
Yeah.
Busy.
This COVID and whatever else is coming along, monkeypox and stuff. I think they're just getting burnt out.
And also the less money they're making now.
Absolutely.
Medicare is not paying as much, so if you're an older citizen, you have a hard time finding a doctor.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to take Medicare.
That's why I like Kaiser.
If they take Medicare, they have to go along with Medicare's payment. Yeah.
You know
That's
why
why
Kaiser? Phil, you know why Kaiser? Sorry. Yeah, I do too. You know why Kaiser's so good with people with Medicare?
Why?
Because Kaiser is not a for-profit organization.
Neither were most insurance companies.
No, he's talking about a hospital here.
Yeah.
Well, Kaiser is an insurance.
It's a plan, but it has a hospital you go to.
Right.
Yeah.
But companies like John, or I don't know if you're familiar with them that we have out here, they have a similar plan to Kaiser.
A lot of doctors don't like Blue Cross because they don't pay much. And so that's kind of similar, but they're a for-profit organization.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Your Dr. Alex is private, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He's associated with Mount Sinai.
And they can feel that. They can feel your lymph nodes. He did that to me, Alex. They can feel that if it's swollen.
Sometimes when they're swollen. Sometimes.
Yeah, but the CT scan said they saw enlarged, rounded lymph nodes.
I wonder. Yeah, I mean,
And CT scans can see stuff his hands can't.
Right.
True,
But
yeah.
why would they want you to get an ultrasound if they did a CT scan?
Ultrasound's
there any
probably
benefit?
more definitive.
Yeah, it is more definitive than a CT scan is.
Yeah.
And now the CT scan you got was with contrast?
Yeah.
Okay. And did they see any cancer?
No, they didn't see any cancers, but they can't necessarily see cancer in that part of the body. I don't know. I really don't know. I would think that they would be able, if they can see other cancers
yeah,
with a CT scan, they can see this. In fact, CT scans are the primary way I think they look at cancers, as opposed to MRIs and things like that.
Depends where. Cancer of the brain is usually done with an MRI.
Yeah, but
different type of contrast.
Yeah.
So. I'd relax a little bit, Alex.
CT scan, they didn't see none. Right?
No.
That's what they did to my mom, and they didn't see it anyplace else when they were checking.
Well, but that isn't definitive either.
Your mom died from COVID, not from.
Yeah, I know. She beat cancer and died from COVID. I couldn't believe that still.
What kind of cancer did she have?
She had colon cancer. She never had the colonoscopy. I couldn't believe it. I yelled at her. Then she finally, she was afraid. I always thought she had it. And then Dr. Rubin said, I kept telling her to get it. I said, she lied to me. She never got the colonoscopy. I said, why did you? What? She was always telling me. Then I was taking her to the doctor, and Dr. Rubin, I said, Dr. Rubin, did she have the colonoscopy? No. She was lying to me, saying she had it once in her 60s. She never got it.
Brian?
Yeah.
Brian, did you have a timeout?
Somebody did.
What,
Your wife or your daughter?
2 kids. That's okay. We're good now.
Now, nobody stole your tooth, did they?
No, I found it.
Oh,
No.
you found it.
Yeah, I have to put it away because the cat was playing with it one time, and I said I don't want to lose that. I have like a month to go, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe
Dr. Allen says so, and he seems like he knows what he's talking about a little bit.
Who?
So as I said before, like 10 minutes ago, but Alex, wouldn't your doctor call you if there was something serious? I mean, you're right. I mean, I hope my doctor would.
I don't know that there's anything serious yet. I mean,
Right.
but he maybe read the whole complete report that they did at the hospital, and it said rounded, and he may have gone, well, let's go do
Sure.
this. Either that, or it might be something else altogether, and he's just trying to cover his ass.
Yeah.
True, yeah. And
Like
they
you said,
also
there's a
run-
51% chance that it's not cancer. And Alan could be right that it's just a reaction to the COVID.
No,
I didn't.
Yeah, he could be right. COVID.
that would
Alan-
not cause rounded lymph nodes.
Can I
Yeah.
say what
If they
have?
swell, can they get rounded?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Are you diabetic, Alex, too?
No.
Okay. Because I thought with COVID, that plays with your diabetes. My brother-in-law was diabetic, and his sugar level was going up like crazy from COVID.
Is there a
That's like
doctor
the person above you.
What'd you say?
That's like the person above you.
No,
I'm sorry.
Brian, what'd you say?
saying if there's a doctor watching, could you please call the show?
Well, we got
Can
Dr. Geary, Dr.
somebody who's
Stein.
watching the show,
Doctor.
can you call and pretend like you're a doctor and just tell Alex he has nothing to worry
Well,
about?
Alan does.
Doctor.
I know.
Ask Alan. He'll pretend.
No.
He's selling.
Between Jeff and I, it's solvable.
An actual doctor probably wouldn't want to come on here and give me medical advice, not knowing me personally.
He can consider it a televisit, like they were doing with me. They
Yeah.
charged me $200 for a televisit.
Well, that's a
and
little
he-
different. You know.
We'd all asking questions. Doc, can you see all us going like, I got a ringing in my ear? What do you think it is? One person at a time.
Charlie's
Well-
got stand up.
Yes, Charlie.
You're speaking of COVID and diabetics. That's why I am deathly afraid of getting COVID, and that's why I'm still wearing my mask when I go outside. And I went shopping today, and there were only 2 other people in the whole freaking store that had masks on.
Keep
Everybody
wearing
else
it.
had masks.
Yeah.
Charlie,
wearing
when
it.
you drive your car, do you have, and you're alone in the car, do you have your mask on?
No.
No, but I don't care if I do. It doesn't hurt anybody else.
Did you ever see that?
I see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, what? How,
Why is that a
does it make?
problem?
How does it hurt you?
It
How's that
only
bother
it
you?
doesn't hurt me, but I only see it in people in Priuses. You know.
My Prius is like, oh, the electric car phone?
Jeff has a Prius.
That's pretty funny because my wife has a Prius.
And hopefully she wears a mask when she goes
She wears
out.
a mask.
But
all
I
the
will wear a mask in a car when there's somebody else in the car.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't know them.
Especially Phil.
He's like Typhoid Mary,
You
Al.
would have wore one with Marjorie, you maybe didn't get COVID.
Right.
And for all I know, they have rounded lymph nodes. Anyway, so I just, it's hard for me to do a show when I got this kind of thing on my mind, and I just,
That's how I do, Jeff.
it-
I get like you. I start
Sounds like
reading-
Giuliani's about ready to get indicted.
What's going on?
Yeah, it sounds like Giuliani's better get his affairs in order.
Can
So-
you see where Trump can't get a lawyer?
Yeah, I saw that. That's
Oh.
funny.
I thought Michael Cohen was on retainer.
Not anymore.
And not
You went to
every
jail,
time.
No, but he can't find a lawyer to represent him.
Right.
A good lawyer, decent lawyer, because none of them will do it because he has a reputation for stiffing lawyers.
Yeah.
I wonder if Dershowitz would do it.
He might.
He doesn't.
Is he-
He doesn't want to get stiffed, and he.
No.
Well, maybe he would do it for for more
The
exposure.
question is, you've got to get yourself a lawyer that knows this business, and I don't think he's that kind of lawyer.
Ah,
Dershowitz is a criminal attorney. He doesn't
Well,
deal. He
trying
doesn't
to
deal.
do-
He doesn't deal in tax law. He doesn't deal in constitutional law. Any
It
of
sounds
that.
like Trump's going down that route. He's going to need a criminal attorney.
Yeah.
Brian's got another timeout.
No.
What's happening?
You just
tonight?
swallowed the tooth. No,
Wait a minute, there's some kind of drama going
so
on.
there's
I yelled out like I used to
in
get.
Georgia.
Adrian, take over for Brian. Adrian, sit in the seat. Sit in the seat. We need another doctor in the house.
What kind
Sit
of
in the
dance
seat.
is that? What is that called?
That's called My Daddy Has a Timeout.
Oh,
There you go.
There we go.
Now we can get into some decent discussion.
Hey,
Oh, she got some of his stuff.
ah.
Get out of here.
Adrian says you're out of here.
every hold on a second, Brian. Every time I see you lift her, it seems to get a little more difficult.
Hey,
Yes.
Brian.
She's falling asleep downstairs, and she's so long right now. And to carry her up there is like, if I do that's like an accomplishment up the stairs to put her into bed. So,
Next time you have your house remodeled, get a lock on your office door.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need one of those chairs soon for me going up the stairs.
But just put a chair up against the door handle.
Hey,
So anyway,
Oh yeah, Giuliani. So they were careful on what terms they used in Georgia. They didn't say he's a person of interest.
Oh.
They said he's a target, and in
Yes.
legal terms, that means it's time to negotiate a deal, or you're going to be indicted. You're very close to being indicted. The word target.
a target. Wow.
Yep.
well,
Hey,
I
they
think
can
the
use any
reason
word.
they told him that it wasn't because he is close to becoming the target of a charge or whatever, but because they wanted him to know that before he went in to do his testimony today.
They do, because they want to hear from him instead of him pleading the fifth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably will anyway.
Well, he pled the fifth all day today. That's all he did.
There you go.
You know, well, I wouldn't do anything else but that either. You know.
No.
If I
Right.
were him.
Let the people prove that he did something wrong.
Yeah.
He's got his good reputation to still hold a little bit of it.
Yeah. I don't know that he has any reputation left. Okay.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
your friend Tony was telling me how much better New York City was when Giuliani was mayor. That it
And
was
even
safe
Bloomberg,
to
too.
ride the subway. You didn't get mugged walking down the street.
And I
Crime
did
was a
say-
lot lower.
And I said Bloomberg did good too for 12 years. I like
Yeah.
Bloomberg.
And
What's your
But
point?
Bloomberg might have been even better than Rudy. Well, he was on par with Rudy, maybe even better, because he
What's
did
your
it for
point?
so long, 12 years.
yeah, but you couldn't have sugary drinks with Bloomberg as mayor.
Oh, that's
You-
right.
you-
Remember that?
I'm trying to figure out your point, Phil. He was good at one time.
Yeah.
He was very good, and
Okay.
Well,
so-
it was the big
but-
problem was New Yorkers gave him a third term, and you never give anybody a
That's
third
right.
term. That's
He actually gave himself a third term. He
What,
he
Bloomberg?
changed it.
no.
He kissed ass to everybody. He really
Absolutely.
did.
Right. But he got a third term because they created a law allowing him to run for a third term. He didn't do it.
Right.
But
But
he
he was
encouraged
the
other
great
people to
one,
do it
right?
for him. And so he then ran for a third term, and in his third term, he was just, it's kind of like, oh, I can do this job in my sleep. It's not
Yeah, but
a good thing to do.
then he was overreaching, and he was trying to,
Shipping drinks, remember?
between knocking off the 7-Elevens, no more Slurpees, no more Big Gulp.
Well, you know something? His heart was in the right place with that, because those things aren't that good for you.
No, they're
Okay.
terrible for you.
So his desire was, I think, a good one. I think he wanted to create a healthier New York. I think that the health of people is very important today, because if you have a lot of people are getting sick because of sugary drinks and whatever,
Yeah.
you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem with the country as a whole.
We have obesity. And a lot of it's due to fast food, and it's just the health of the nation. We didn't have the things 40 and 50 years ago. We didn't have the kinds of diseases that we have today, and most of them are due to diabetes and obesity. I fight with that all the time. And
we had diabetes 40 or 50 years ago. We just didn't have treatment for it.
Yeah, but diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is caused usually by eating habits and things like that. Now, type 1 diabetes, yes, that
type
we
2 diabetes is also hereditary, isn't it?
But yes, but it's rampant, and even children today are getting type 2 diabetes. Brian has
Brian.
But where does that go back to? That doesn't just go back to fast food, right? You have dollar menus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How much is fruit?
Expensive.
I mean, a lot of this has to do with the money, right? I mean, there's Trader Joe's over here. There's Whole Foods over here. Do you think that's over the east side San Jose? Not at all. East side San Jose, you have more fast food areas. So, it's this whole money thing. You have a lot of poor people who have diabetes, and a lot of poor people eating fried food all the time, and this is terrible. Those kind of schools compared to our schools here, and it's a big difference.
It's not cheap to eat fast food anymore.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's very cheap. You go to Jack in the Box, two tacos for 99 cents. They have the dollar menus everywhere, Phil.
How do you know that?
Because it got killed.
Because I watch commercials. We don't go to McDonald's at all because Oliver had that.
Phil has every dollar menu to every quick food restaurant in this car.
I've been to McDonald's with Phil.
And what did I get?
Coffee. We went through drive-through. Got Phil's generosity. Got like 20 coffees for everybody in the morning. But no, it's serious, and it's the whole economics of how the poor areas have fast foods, and that's why they're getting obese, and that's why a lot of this is happening.
It's that a lot of blacks live in those communities, and they have a higher rate of diabetes because of that, because of lack of money or lack of access to good food.
Alan,
or parents have 2 jobs and they stop at fast food every day because that's easy.
They don't have time to cook.
Bad choices. I know it was bad choices on my part.
But Phil, it's not choices. There are some very poor areas around here still, and they don't have choices. So
not everybody can afford to live in Walnut Creek.
Yeah, I mean, and this area is probably one of the richest areas. So in the Bay Area is so rich, but before, I know a lot of areas. So.
Yes, Alan.
I'm sorry. I want to ask Phil a question here. Is the FBI considered a law enforcement agency, Phil?
I would assume it is.
Okay. So why are the Republicans becoming anti-law enforcement now?
They're not anti-law enforcement. They're
They're going after the FBI constantly.
There are people in the FBI that have an agenda in the higher ups. None of the Republicans are saying that the day-to-day working guy in the FBI needs to be defunded or has a problem. They're talking about the ones
Marjorie
that are
Taylor
politicized.
Greene said it. She said defund the FBI.
What's her name? Green? Taylor Greene?
Yeah, your girlfriend, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
You wish she was your girlfriend.
No, I don't.
Oh, come on, Phil.
Yeah, well,
really.
He makes a joke when there's a point. He makes a joke when there's a point that he can't defend.
Well, no, I have no support for Marjorie Taylor Greene. I can't vote for her. I didn't vote for her. But her constituents did, and they like what she has to say. And as far as law enforcement goes, I don't believe in defunding the law enforcement. I believe in training law enforcement.
Right.
And if the FBI has gone to the days of J. Edgar Hoover and has gotten out of hand, maybe they need to be looked at.
But Phil, I think the Democrats made a bad choice, or whoever we say made bad choices in saying defund the police also. Because when I heard those, I said no. I would like to go through those people and to make sure that we have good cops. And I know that's very hard to have good cops and bad cops. And I know that's what that's what a lot of people meant. But when they start throwing that defund, and then all the Republicans jump on and say, yeah, defund, you're going to take all the money away. There's not going to be police. How can you live without police? And then here they start with the whole defund FBI, but they really mean it. They really mean take the FBI away.
Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene might mean that.
No, there are a lot of
He's
other
your leader.
Republicans
More than
saying
her.
Well,
So he's the leader from you guys.
yeah, well, no, she's not the leader of us guys.
Yeah.
Raised the most money.
Well, Mr. Trump wants to
yeah.
release his own videotapes and expose a bunch of the FBI agents. Why would he want to do that?
Well, maybe there are people in the FBI, just like there are people in the police departments, that need to be exposed and need to be called on
That
to.
ain't quite the way to do it. That ain't quite the way to do it.
Well,
Because they know you got the nutcases out there coming out of the woods going after him.
yeah,
That's vigilantism.
Like the idiot in
one thing
Cincinnati.
has nothing to do with the other. If you're afraid of that, then there's
No,
nothing
that's someone else taking the law into their own hands and releasing
that's
people
not
out at
Trump's
them.
fault. You see, don't be a victim. Don't.
I'm not saying it's right.
It's
I'm not saying that
causing you to
the
be a
Democrats were doing during the summers were right either. But what I'm saying is that two wrongs don't make a right.
No, and if Trump is exposing something that is wrong,
He hasn't done it yet, but he's talking about it.
Okay, but if he does expose something that's wrong within the system, what's wrong with that? People day in and day out.
Do you
have
really think
videotapes.
he's going to, Phil?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But,
Well, then what are you saying?
Every time that he said,
Why are
he
you
was
even
gonna do
mentioning it? Why are you even bringing it up?
I didn't bring it up. Your buddy Dr. Allen did. And he's trying to use syllogistic reasoning to say, well, if I don't support defund the police, and FBI are police, then therefore
I think a better term would have been to refund the police. In other words, to take away the budgets completely, and then reappropriate the money within those budgets, and take it away from some things which are doing us no good, and applying it to other things which will do good.
Well, Charlie has his hand up. But,
Yes, Charlie.
Yeah, I just want to point out that when we had those peaceful protesters with their candlelight vigils outside of what's his name? I can't remember his name for some reason. The Supreme Court justice. The Republicans passed a law like that, or pushed a law like that to give extra protection to.
There is
Now
a law.
this judge that signed the warrant for the for the search of Mar-a-Lago, they've got his picture all over the place, and they haven't done anything, passed any laws to protect him.
Well, there are the same laws that would protect him that would protect the Supreme Court justices, and so the thing that they did to the Supreme Court justices, if you want to protest, go to the Supreme Court, stand in front of the Supreme Court, carry
Actually,
a
they
sign.
passed a law against that. They won't let them stand and protest in front of the Supreme Court.
Yeah, well, who's in control of passing the laws? It's the Democrats. Last time I looked, the House was 50. The House had 5 more seats of Democrats, and the Senate had a 51 advantage with Harris.
And
Two
they will have
words:
to do
cinema, mansion.
Well, Cinema and Mansion, they got
two,
bought.
2 is not 5.
2 is not.
No, that's
fun.
the Senate. No, he's right about the House.
I thought the House had 10 more.
No, well,
That's fine.
it's because there's a 5 vote, so there's.
Yeah, and the other thing is, one of the Republican Congresswomen was killed the other day. So that
Yeah.
I wonder what they'll do with her seat.
Well, the election's in November, so they're gonna.
Yeah,
just-
but aren't they going to appoint a temporary person for her seat?
What
Who's
state?
No, they don't
Whose seat?
appoint temporary. They don't appoint.
Wait a minute. Whose seat?
I mean, they don't
There
represent.
was where was the woman from that was in a head-on collision?
Oh, yeah.
Indiana.
Okay.
She was from Indiana, and she
Indiana, okay.
was killed in a car wreck. They don't appoint representatives.
They can't
They
fill
have
it,
to be voted in.
but I'm
They
not
could
sure.
have a special election, but
Maybe
why
that's
do that when there's one coming up in November anyway?
well, because why get somebody out of office, not impeach? What did they do to Chelsea Bodine? They recalled him, and that was just a month or so ago. And they're having another election coming up. So why recall him when you have an election coming up? But they recalled him anyway, and then the mayor was able to appoint another DA. I
That's
thought,
a
Talking
DA.
about San Francisco.
yeah, but I thought they filled those seats.
You don't feel Republican. If you look at the Constitution, nobody has the right to appoint anybody as a representative of the people.
Not even the governor of the
Not the
state
governor,
can
not the
fill the seat.
president. Nobody can appoint a representative in the House of Representatives.
But then they
have to
don't
be
have
elected.
any representation. for
Right,
the
they
period
don't
of
until you
time.
have a special election or you have the next election.
Hmm.
But they must be voted in by the people because they represent the people.
Yep.
Did you just learn something, Phil?
Yeah, but that also means that there's one less vote, one less Republican vote in the
Right
House.
now, yeah.
Yeah, we can.
It does.
Well, we just pray for some more car crashes.
Yeah, really, with Republicans in them.
Well, yeah, I guess you're about as generous with your emotions as Ann Hesh was
Yeah.
treated on Monday.
Hey.
Bill, did you donate to Trump last few days? I heard he's breaking records again.
No, I donated during the election, the 2020 election. I donated during the 2016 election, but I'm not sure that I would support Trump in
Well, the money you'd be
2024.
sending him now, he'd wind up using for his own.
Yeah, he just put it in his pocket and
Yeah,
spent it.
puts it. In
Are
his
they
pocket.
allowed to do that?
Yes, he's not
Sure.
running for anything. He's just
Sure. You
asking
can
for
get a
money to
GoFundMe
defend himself.
Well,
Yeah, he can do that until he actually declares he's running for office.
yeah, because at the moment, I'm leaning towards DeSantis. That I think Trump did a very good was needed.
Why do you
by this
always go
country.
for the biggest jerk?
Well, he-
Why is that, Phil? Why is it you are always
He's not a jerk.
you are always
I tell you-
attaching yourself to the? He is a jerk. He acts
Okay.
like a jerk.
Okay, Tony, you read his bio. What's he about?
I was impressed with the bio. I have to say, he did serve. I mean, he has a good record. I mean,
A good record of what, Tony?
Well, he did. What was he, a Marine? I think.
Well,
It
that
was
doesn't
Navy
make him
SEAL.
qualified to run for office.
No,
Give
he
me
wasn't.
another
I think he
thing.
had
West
a
Point,
law degree, right? Did he go to law school?
Yale.
He went to Yale Law. I mean, that's
Yeah,
pretty
but
good.
that still doesn't mean the guy isn't an asshole.
He also
Right.
went to West
I don't
Point.
know him
It
personally.
just
I
I
means-
know a lot of
that-
lawyers who are assholes.
It
I know a
means
lot
he's
of people
trained-
who were in the military who are assholes.
He's trained to be a leader. He went to West Point.
and he does have.
man is a leader.
He does have some good check boxes. I have to say.
But there's
Yeah,
one
but
one
Phil
checkbox that he has that makes it all negated, and that
What
is
did Hillary
asshole.
Clinton have? What did Hillary Clinton have
Yeah,
that made her?
Oh, let's see,
electable?
let's see. First of all, she was the first lady, so she knew where the bathroom was. Okay, that's for
that's
starters.
important.
That's for starters. Secondly, she happened to be a senator from the state of New York. She also
appointed,
wait a minute,
pretty much.
happened to be an ambassador. So she had a lot of.
Did you go to Yale,
Secretary of State.
law school?
I think where did she go?
And she happened to
I
sleep
I
with
think
the
she was there
president.
with Brucey.
Yeah, she went to Yale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yale.
and she happened to sleep with the president, prior president of the United States.
Before and after.
That's
Well, I don't know about after.
Not after, man. She was too pissed at him.
Hey, Tony, Phil's bio looks pretty good too. And look at him.
Yeah, I walked across the Oxford campus, so like
but
Clinton,
when you-
I
yeah.
attended Oxford.
Wait, but when you say that what did Clinton have as a background? She was probably the most qualified person
Yeah.
to run for president in years. I mean,
I don't agree with
she
that.
checked
because
all the boxes.
They groomed her for that Senate seat. Who was it that retired, and she was basically a shoo-in for it? Do you think that she moved to New York because
puppet
she
baby.
wanted
Phil,
to.
that
She
happens
was
all
in New York to
that-
get
wait a
that
minute.
Senate seat.
That happens all the time. It's happened over and over again in New York.
Trump
This
was
is
a-
the
Trump was
Democratic
a-
cabal.
Because you don't have to be a New York resident in order to run for the Senate.
And so let's
This
back up,
country, you
Phil.
don't
Think
have to
about
live
this
here.
for a minute.
Let me see what she went to
Bill
school.
Trump was a lifelong Democrat,
Yeah.
but he moved to the Republican side to try and become president.
Oh, because he had seen what the Democrats were doing. You saw what he thought of Obama. And also, Trump was the right person at the right time in 2016.
Really.
And he set us in a very positive direction financially and in the world's position. We didn't have a war. We didn't have a lot of the problems that we have today. And since Trump, we have inflation, we have high gas prices, high food prices. We have a lot.
Why don't you find something that's the president's fault instead of
everything.
there are high gas prices around the world. There are high food prices around the world.
Truman said the buck stops here, and it
Somebody
stops
should tell
with your
Trump
buddy
that.
Biden.
Yeah, that's for sure. Somebody should have told Trump that.
Yeah. Well, Trump gave us low inflation and put people to
Trump
work.
gave us COVID.
I got
That's
it.
the only
I got it.
reason the price of
The
gas went
Chinese
down.
gave us COVID.
Oh,
I got to say something. Phil, Trump, with all his crazy policies and things that he tried to do, he ended up he had to bail out the farmers for $2.5 billion. He had to pay off all the farmers because they would go out of business because of that crazy trade deal with trade war with China. And that huge tax cut ended up being one of the major reasons why we probably have such bad inflation now.
I don't think so.
That was that huge corporate. It's basically corporate socialist. That's what.
Are
Trump,
you listen,
Trump
John?
is a
Are
corporate
you happy?
socialist.
John, are you happy with China dumping product in the United States and putting U.S. firms out of business?
No.
That's why
no.
Trump-
Let me explain something to you, Phil. Can I explain something for a second? Okay, if China can build something much cheaper than we can, doesn't it make sense to let them do it? Okay,
No.
Yes, it does. Okay,
There's something.
You're gonna pay. You're gonna ruin the economy by spending, building steel plants that cost 5 times what China can build it for. So it makes sense. And then we develop with our free resources that we're not wasting on overpaying for things in China.
It's not a matter of overpaying. Have you ever heard of something called the triangle of trade? Do you know what that is?
That's not what we're talking about.
Now listen to me. It's the
got nothing to
basis.
do with
It's the
it.
basis for economy. Now the triangle of trade is you have
Yes.
people that make the product, you
Yeah.
have people that buy the product,
Right.
and you have people that sell the product.
Right.
So when you have that triangle and it's all in the United States, you're putting people to work. Those people that are working are consuming, and you have
No,
that
but
triangle continue to function just
No,
like a
but
local engine.
You'll
Now,
bankrupt the country because other countries are undercutting you, and
not if you put a tariff.
If a country tariffs don't work. Tariffs they ruin the economy.
No, not necessarily. If you
Yes,
put the
they are.
tariff on there, what was happening was China was subsidizing the companies in China to sell and dump product cheaper here to try to ruin our market.
No, that's not that. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Sure, okay, but that's there's no what Trump was trying to do would just ruin the economy.
No, what Trump was trying to do was to stop that.
Now, but
He wanted to stop them from stealing our not secrets, but our
Resources?
intellectual property.
but it doesn't work that. Yeah,
It
That's
does
not-
if you don't
all
allow them to
presidents
sell.
Look, all presidents do that. But
Jeff
got his
Trump
hand
was
up.
ignorant.
Phil, you're assuming, among other things, that Trump knew and was a good businessman.
That's right.
And the fact is, wait a minute, let's forget about his record as president. Let's look at his record as a businessman. Horrid.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter, because
his
when you're
record is-
running a country and then you're having to make decisions about its finances, it is important.
Well, our finances were in a lot better shape under Trump than they are now.
No, they were.
No, they're not.
No, they weren't.
What about that jobs report? We've created more jobs than Trump ever did.
Because you've had all of these people that have gone, that were out of the economy, that weren't working, that were collecting welfare.
Because of Trump.
Not under Trump. Trump had low unemployment because people were employed. It was the lowest black, the lowest Hispanic.
Lowest unemployment? Phil, there was higher unemployment under Trump.
We had up to 20% unemployment during COVID. What are you talking about? That
20%. During COVID, the economy was shut down. Every store was shuttered.
Nevertheless, Phil, you're saying that under Trump. You're saying that under Trump. Let me finish, Phil. Shut up. Shut up. You're saying that under Trump, the economy, the jobs were better. Okay.
Yes.
And he just said that under Trump they were lower, and you said, well, that was because of COVID. Well, let's face it. If he was a good president, he would have done something about keeping the jobs going.
Well, he did. He had a stimulus package called PPP.
Oh, God.
And that was to pay your employees while we were shut down under COVID. And
how much of that PPE money do you still have, Phil?
I spent it all.
You spent it all?
He had to buy new ammo and new guns.
Did you spend it all on on keeping your people hired?
Yes.
Most of it, yes.
Most of it. I just heard most of it. You were supposed to
I
spend.
had other expenses.
You were supposed to spend all of it on that.
No, there was a certain percentage I could spend on utilities, rent, and so forth. It was a percentage of certain utilities, certain rent, and employee compensation. So it wasn't all for employee compensation, and I used it for the items that it was meant to be used for. And I can thank Donald Trump for coming to the aid of small business when there was a pandemic and we had to shut down. And he stepped up to the plate and took care of it. Now, if there was higher unemployment during COVID, that's what happens when you shut the world down. You know,
if I recall, the Republicans were against that.
Yes.
It took the Democrats to get that passed.
I think the Republicans were in control.
And in fact, Trump was arguing against it the whole time.
I don't think so.
Yes, I think so, bud.
Yeah, well,
Google it. Yes, he was.
Okay, let me bring up another.
Yes, he was. No, he wasn't. Yes, he was.
Let me bring up another topic here. Liz Cheney.
Yeah, Trump's happy.
Yeah, I don't think he should be that happy.
Yeah.
Fine.
To begin with, she's still got another 6 months before she has to leave office.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff she can do during that time. Hold on a second.
Loser.
Hold on a second. Not a loser. I think she's going into not being a congressman person, which is only a 2-year deal anyway, and it doesn't pay as much as senator does. Whatever. The point I'm making is she is now a bigger danger to Trump because she isn't in office than she was while she was in office, because now she has the ability to run for president opposite him. Let me finish. Let me finish.
All right.
It has nothing to do with the state she's in. She can run for president, and nobody in Wyoming has to vote for her, and she could still win.
And nobody's going to vote for her. She is the Harris. She is the Harris of politicians. If she goes for president,
she is something you're not, Phil. She's something you're not.
Yeah, she won't get a 0.5%.
She's something you're not, Phil.
Well, how come 92%?
She's something. She's something you're not. What do you think that is?
Natural blonde?
No. No.
What?
She's a true conservative.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is. Absolutely, Phil.
Well,
Then
she
because you
lost-
don't know what a conservative is, because if you voted for Trump, you weren't voting for a conservative. You were voting for a self-serving prick.
I was voting against the swamp.
Yeah, and you know what you got? You got
I got
you
somebody
got the
that flushed
abyss.
them out.
You got the abyss.
No, I got somebody that flushed out these losers that we have in Congress and in the Senate.
Oh yeah, they're all flushed out, aren't they?
Wait a minute, you're talking about the
FBI?
We've seen what they're all about. They're there to help themselves.
Well, how about Trump? How about Trump?
Trump lost a lot by being president.
He didn't lose anything, Phil. He was broke. He was broke, Phil. He was on his last leg.
I don't think so. He has a lot of assets, and he could have sold. He has all those golf
Should
courses.
prove
He could
it.
have sold them.
We don't know
Those
how.
golf courses.
How
are not
come
worth
he's
that
having to
much.
fly in a small jet instead of his 757
Yeah,
now?
he's so rich.
Because he's into the green economy.
Yeah.
Special prosecutor Liz Cheney.
Phil,
That's all I
please,
gotta say.
Yeah, Charlie.
Cheney is done.
Oh boy.
It took your mind off of the lymph nodes.
Yeah.
Phil, please get help.
Your little son here had something he wanted to say. Yes, Tony.
Me and my brother went shopping out in Long Island to a Costco, and he made I don't know how we kind of got a little lost, but there was like a private air, like there was a small airport there, and we saw one of the Trump planes. When we drove, you couldn't get in, but you saw. So he must land down on Long Island then, because it said
No. That plane has been sitting there the whole time he was president. It says Trump on the side of it, right? It's a big plane.
Because I said, wow, there's a Trump.
And they're
plane.
using it. They're using it for parts right now. Google it.
Is that one of the old Trump airplanes from?
Yeah,
from
from-
wait a minute. Hold on a second. From the
probably is.
from Trump Airlines, which
Yeah,
failed.
probably.
So
Probably.
that's a
Probably
failed
got it.
plane, Tony.
Oh, is it? Because I was like, does that mean it's
They use it. They use it for the university.
Yeah.
It's a 757.
That's
whenever
where they ship the steaks in that.
Yeah.
Did you ever
I
have
haven't seen John laugh like that in a while.
You're going to have to move this to Trump's prison that he's going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil, that's right. What about that bet we made, remember, last year?
No, refresh my memory.
Yeah, I said he'd go to jail, and you said no, and I said $100. You said okay.
Oh, okay, I'm in. I'm in. He
All
won't
right.
go to jail.
Okay, everybody heard it.
He'll
Yeah.
get. Who cares? So
Write
he'll
it
get.
down.
He'll get his second term in prison.
Yeah.
I guess if he had a servant, right?
I don't think he's going to be nominated. To be honest with you, I think what he's hit the wall when it's come to. He's become baggage, and I think even the Republicans realize this, and they really are it's losing its allure, you know.
It's damaged goods.
Damaged goods, yeah. I mean, every day. Well, you don't. What it is you don't want a candidate who every day when you wake up there's more drama. You know,
right.
And I think we've just had, even the Republicans have had a little too much of Trump's drama. You know,
Bill might be onto something. It could be DeSantis. Then.
well,
I think it will be.
but I don't think DeSantis is going to win.
Why would you want DeSantis? I mean, do you want a book burning president? A guy that
He's
wants
not
to
a book burning
Yes,
president.
he is. He's
Yes, he
banning
is.
books.
He's
and
banning
fucking-
books in Florida.
Yeah, did you see the shit
Yeah,
that he's trying to make the teachers teach the kids and stuff now?
I saw the shit that he's trying to make them not teach them, like gender choice between kindergarten and third grade.
That's bullshit.
That is bullshit because that's
Bullshit.
That's what,
Nobody
that's
ever,
what-
Phil.
Nobody's
That was
Nobody
disproved
ever.
as a lie a long time ago.
I don't believe that.
Oh, you don't believe it because
that's
you
what the whole
believe.
Dis-
Phil, you live
That's
your
what the whole
life.
Disney
You
thing.
live your life to believe in lies. You
Well,
know, I mean, you
no.
believed in the Trump lie, now you're believing the DeSantis lie, and
Look,
I don't know if there's a lie out there, you'll believe in it.
That's
Phil, you're
because you have been brainwashed by the left.
Phil,
You know, I thought you were
you're
smarter than
in
that.
the cult.
Must be the cancer.
Get professional help, Phil. You really are in a cult.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. I think you're out of line, John. I think because he has a different opinion and his opinion doesn't fit with anybody else's here. But I think that saying get help, I mean that's kind of
That's
wrong.
what Phil says to us. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I've
He
never
does the
said
same thing to
that.
us.
I've never heard him say that.
I've never said that.
Deprogrammed. You can go to like a deprogram or a cult or
That we're wrong.
Yeah.
That our opinion is wrong. He's never said that.
Tony? Tony?
I've never heard him say it, Brian.
No, he's never
Yeah.
said go get help. No.
Yeah. Tony,
No,
what did
go
I
get
tell you
help.
today if people attack you? What did I tell you to do?
That's not attacking you.
No. Tony, what did I tell you to do?
Roll
What?
off. Roll off. the back.
Roll off your back.
No, but some of the things Phil does say to stick up for him, I'm not just saying it. He does have some good points. I have to say that.
Who?
I don't agree with everything you say, Phil. Remember, we do disagree on things.
Well, all right. Cal's a good point.
Yeah, prove that.
Yeah.
No, you have to think of it now. Say it
Yeah, I mean,
should have
I'm
been right.
almost-
Just should have come right off the top of your head.
I think no, actually, he gave me a book to read on selling, and I think he does have a good working knowledge of like a business acumen. Like he's good at seeing things. I mean, am I making any sense?
No, you're not making any sense because
No,
That's-
even he's disagreeing with you, Tony.
Tony,
Yeah.
I have an opinion, and I respect the opinions that
Yeah, I
other
mean,
people
I'm-
have.
Right.
no, you
He's a
don't,
smart
Phil.
person. He's gonna be-
Absolutely do not. And quite
How-
frankly,
it's only
quite
you think
frankly,
it's
can
not.
I be honest about this, Phil?
Yeah.
I don't respect your opinion.
It doesn't matter.
I don't respect it
I
in
have-
the least. John, do you
Alan?
respect his opinion?
It doesn't matter.
Kevin,
I
do you
have-
respect his opinion? Brian, do you respect his opinion?
One time I
Jeff,
did.
Charlie,
No, but
Alex,
It's
I
personal,
have
yeah.
no control.
and you bought lunch
over
for Alan, and he still doesn't respect your
But look,
opinion.
I have no control over anyone else's opinion except my own. And so I don't disrespect other people's opinion, but I also voice my opinion. I'm not afraid to meet opposition and have people tell me they think I'm wrong. Well, that's okay. You can
don't
think
have a-
I'm wrong. You
You
have an
noticed.
opinion.
I have to
But
say,
if
We
you're
don't-
not
you-
willing to listen and have a dialogue with people that have a different view of what is right and wrong, then
All right. Yeah.
then I think you're being
Eric-
one-sided.
John?
Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but not
Except
to
the
their,
Republican.
No, everybody's entitled to their opinions, but not to their facts. All right, facts are facts,
And
if
that
you're
works both ways.
And if you're like Trump spouting bullshit, then you're going to get called on it.
Trump had a purpose. In 2016, he needed to rock the boat, and that's what he
No,
did.
he needed to make money. And he actually ran initially hoping that he would lose the nomination and then be able to keep all the money he had acquired from running. Wait a minute, I'm telling you this right
I
now.
believe you have a point. I believe you have a point to that because I don't think he ever expected to win. And I think what he was trying
Yes,
to
and
do
he
was
expected
build.
to use that money. He expected to use that money to take care of himself and take care of his problems. Once he became president, the advantage there was it kind of made him immune from prosecution for all
I
the ills
believe-
of the things that he did. Listen to me, Phil. That he did in New York State, which are now coming back to haunt him since he no longer has that protection.
Well, nothing's forever. But the thing is, I believe initially he wanted to build
He
his
didn't
brand.
want to do anything other than ingratiate himself to the American public so he
Doesn't-
could rob them blind.
I understand that might have been partially his intention initially, but
and-
once he won the presidency, I believe he really stepped up.
Oh,
to
he
the
really
plate,
worked
and
at
he
that
did-
job.
Yeah,
and
to
he
further
did what was best for the
Putin's
country.
He
agenda.
really worked at
Also
that job.
abused and disrespected the office.
And,
You
and
think he disrespected the
Oh,
office?
absolutely.
He changed the
Absolutely.
purpose.
to
Disrespect.
further Putin's agenda.
That's left-wing bullshit. John.
No, it's
Well, that's the truth.
That's
A
back.
fact.
All I know is that
There are facts to back it up.
Putin didn't feel threatened to where he had to invade Ukraine and decimate that country the way he does today under Biden.
No.
Why? Because he gave him a soccer
always-
ball?
Yeah, he
And a roll of paper towel.
invaded Ukraine. He had Yukovanovich in there, his puppet.
No,
Yukovanovich, whatever his name is.
Zelensky was in there, and
Not in
and
2016.
And he did not, and he didn't, and that's why he didn't want to give Ukraine money right away, because there was so much corruption. But he also didn't.
Oh, here comes Hunter. I
Bingo.
can hear it now.
He didn't.
Here
allow,
comes Hunter Biden.
Yeah, he didn't allow.
By the way,
Russia.
Phil never got the memo that nobody in America cares about Hunter Biden.
Hunter Biden.
About who?
Hunter
Oh,
Biden.
Hunter Biden.
Right. Who?
Yeah, we'll see. And once the House turns Republican, and they start having inquiries into Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's exploits.
Are you talking about the 2030 election? I think you'll be right.
Remember, every Sunday news on the Post, every Sunday, there's always an article on Biden when I'm drinking my coffee in the bakery.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's the president.
That's
Tony.
the
Get
only
it right.
newspaper in America that's covering Hunter Biden.
it's like there goes.
The Times apologized for saying that the laptop was Russian disinformation, when it turns out that it was all true.
Who's
No,
Mr. Big Show?
bullshit.
Does everybody see
apologize.
Tony's name on what it says? That's cute. I don't know if Alex did that or what.
What?
Look at what Tony has for his name.
Mini Phil Jr.
I thought you did it, Alex.
Oh, I
No,
did.
no, he did it. He's
I
had it
just
on there
noticed
from the
it.
beginning.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
John Larkin's going to do the same thing next week.
What?
So Phil,
Mini Phil.
Phil, like 2
We
weeks
have a
ago,
whole team.
What's 2 weeks?
over 2 weeks ago, I gave you a challenge, Phil. I
What was
told you to tell us something that Herschel Walker has said that you believe.
Well, I believe that his platform is to
Tell us
advance
something.
the Trump
Something
agenda.
that he said.
It's
Something
what?
that he
Wait a
said.
minute,
I don't
wait a
care
minute,
who you
wait a
said.
minute.
I believe what
I
he
will
said.
give you another week. I'll
Okay,
give you
no,
another week.
I don't need another week.
But it's not an
said-
agenda. I'm saying tell us something.
He doesn't have an agenda, because
Tell us
he represents the people of
He
Georgia.
represents
and his
sheer
agenda,
stupidity. That man hasn't
Tell
got a
us-
brain in his
Bill,
goddamn
Bill.
head.
his agenda is to represent the people that elected him.
I don't care agenda. I'm
Well,
saying
is that many
can
of
you
them?
please tell us something that he has said, the quotes that you believe. So next time, can you
He doesn't
research
need.
him?
He has not made specific quotes that
he's
he
made a
is
lot.
going
Okay,
to
what are you
drive.
talking about?
What
He's
he
made
has
a lot
said,
of quotes.
what he
Yeah.
had said is that he's going to represent the people of Georgia, and he's
And
going
the air
to.
from
wait a minute.
China.
Hold on a
Yeah,
second. Wait a
and
minute.
the air
Wait a
from
minute.
China is
Hold on a
bad,
second.
and it's coming back over.
Hold on a second. He said, is that one of the things he says? He's going to represent the people of Georgia. Didn't he look up the job description?
Well,
He
the
is
people of
supposed to represent the people of Georgia.
That's right, and that's his agenda. It's about time we had somebody that was not necessarily a echo chamber for Biden and what's her name, Nancy
That better be
Pelosi,
an echo chamber.
Out of here.
for Trump.
and for Nancy Pelosi, and represented the
Yeah,
people
wrap
that
it up.
sent
Where's
them
the
to
music?
Washington.
Put the music
Let
on.
me see here. I can start it early.
58.
Oh, wait a minute! Before you do, we got to have a report. Is Irv back?
No, Herb's
No.
still in the nursing home or whatever.
Was that a 5150 commitment?
What?
Was that a 5150 commitment?
No, not at all. Not at all. But anyway, he is getting better, however. So.
Good.
Anyway, listen, I got to go. That's it. Thank you, Phil.
I hope
Thank
you feel better and get the information you need to.
I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man. Anyway.
Dead man talking.
Yeah.
worry.
Anyway, thanks, Alan. And thanks to our good friend Charlie Wallace for joining us, Jeff Stein, Mini Phil Jr., Brian Neary, and John Larkin. Every one of you, why don't you give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you, okay? There they go, folks. That's our citizen panel for tonight. We'll do it again tomorrow night if I'm still alive. Anyway, we'll see you then. No Jack next, but we'll have one of his old programs running here, so enjoy it. I'll see you again, let's see here, tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.